for a hotel? Hotel California. There was a married couple that was looking for a hotel one night. And you know the story, but you know it in the wrong way, because we're all lied to by the traditions of our pastors. There were no magi on the first night to visit the child. They showed up 2 years later, and he was in a house. And that funded their ability to escape to Egypt until Herod died. You're not told these things in context, but I want to read literally truth from Scripture so that you can understand what's really going on. Luke 2, it describes Yahusha'S birth, and it was on the first day of Sukkoth. We're in Sukkoth right now as I record this, and it's 7 days of basically remembering us living in tents, but Yahusha himself was Yahuwah who tabernacled among us, and he pitched his tent among men, and the angels came and announced it. This is beginning at chapter 2, verse 1 of Luke. And it came to be in those Yomim days that a decree went out from Kaiser Augustus for all the world to be registered. This took place as a first registration while Quirinius was governing Syria. And all were going to be registered, each one to his own city. And Yusuf, that's who they called Joseph, also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Natsarim, to Yehuda, to the city of Daud, which is called Beit-Lechem, means house of bread. They call it Bethlehem, because he was out of the house and lineage of Daud, to be registered with Miriam, who was engaged to him, being pregnant. And it came to be that while they were there, the Yomim were filled for her to give birth. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him up, and laid him down in a food hamper, a basket, because there was no room for them in the lodging place. And in the same country there were shepherds living out in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by Lila, by night. And look, a messenger of Yahuwah stood before them, and the esteem of Yahuwah shone around them, and they were greatly afraid. And the messenger said to them, "Do not fear, for look, I bring you a besorah of great joy, which shall be to all people. Because was born to you today in the city of Daud a deliverer, who is Mashiach Aduni." Now that word Aduni, I want to pause for a moment, is often used as a substitution for the literal word Yahuwah. And I'm reading from the BYNV, which is a translation you can find, BYNV. And I did not want to change this word in this particular case to Yahuwah, but it does come from the word that they used as a replacement for the name. Starting at verse 12, picking up, "And this is the sign to you. You shall find a baby wrapped up, lying in a food hamper." And then suddenly there was around the messenger a throng of the heavenly host, praising Elohim and saying, "Esteem to Elohim in the highest, and on eretz," that's earth, "peace among men with whom he is pleased." And it came to be, when the messengers had gone away from them into the heavens, that the shepherds said to each other, "Indeed, let's go to Beit-Lechem and see this matter that has taken place, which Aduni has made known to us. And the shepherds returned after we skipped 5 verses, and they had seen the baby, and that was all that was there. There was no magi. It was just them. No little drummer boys or anything like that. And the shepherds returned, boasting and praising Elohim for all that they had heard and seen as it was spoken to them. And when 8 yomim, that's 8 days, were completed for him to be circumcised, the name given by the messenger before him was conceived in the womb. His name was called Yahusha. See, these 8 yomim were the completion of Sukkoth and the last great day, the festival. And it's mentioned that we're to observe this festival now, but we're also to observe tabernacles or Sukkoth in the new millennium, in the 7th millennium, I should say, after Yahusha returns, and the nations that do not go up with, a representative to observe Sukkoth, they will not get rain. It's right there in Zechariah chapter 14. Well, I'll repeat this, verse 21 in Luke 2. When 8 yomim were completed for him to be circumcised, his name was called Yahusha, the name given by the messenger before he was conceived in the womb. Now he's speaking of, Luke is talking about Gabriel, having had told Miriam the name. And also Yusuf in a dream was told by the same messenger that his name was to be Yahusha. The name Yahusha'S is a fake name. It doesn't mean anything in Hebrew, Greek, or Latin, or any other language. It's just a made-up name, and it's been going through changes. And it derived from the Latin Vulgate, IESV. Just watch some of my other videos. This is a name that means I am your deliverer. It means Yahuwah is your deliverer. I mean, who else can deliver us? Who else can forgive us except the one we've offended? He can't send somebody else and say, hey, forgive them their sins. He did it himself. Abraham and his son were walking along, and they were going up a steep mountain, and they were going to offer Ishak as a burnt offering. And Yahuwah stopped it, of course, but he was walking with his father, and Ishak said, Father, here's the fire and the wood. Where's the lamb? And Abraham said, Yahuwah will provide himself the lamb. The lamb. The lamb of Yahuwah. And when the yomim of her cleansing, according to the Torah of Moshe, were completed, they brought him to Jerusalem on the 8th day to present him to Yahuwah. They were at the temple because it was standing then. And as it has been written in the Torah of Yahuwah, every male who opens the womb shall be called Kodesh to Yahuwah. Kodesh to Yahuwah are the very words that were written on the plate that the high priest wore. And to give an offering according to what is said in the Torah of Yahuwah, a pair of turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, unquote. Now, we just read Luke 2, and this is not about December 25th. It has nothing to do with that. That's actually the sun deity birth since Babel. It's a 4,000-year-old habit or tradition or myth, So you've been lied to, and I'd like to be able to help you escape this lie and to get to the truth. Because the one that abides in his word is the one who truly loves him and knows him. And it says in the book of John, if you abide in my word, live it, then you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next exciting video.